Hello, I'm TU31 and welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing you 5 very different designs for spawn in Minecraft. You might not fully appreciate this, but your spawn is actually one of the most important places in your world. This is a little bit more important on PC than it is on console because of spawn chunks and stuff, but it's still a really important thing on console because this is where people join for the first time, it's the first set of stuff they're going to see, and it's what they're going to be able to do when they join your world. So if you want to make sure that they can't get out and grief your world, or if you want to make sure that they see some cool stuff, today I'm showing you 5 different ways of doing that, and hopefully you do all enjoy today's video. If you do, please do like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me do like this kind of project style video that's very different to my normal one. But yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? So let's start with the first design for spawn. This is kind of the base one I'd recommend, even if you're not sure what you want to do, just to make sure that your spawn is always safe, and that is work out your spawn area and then, fence it off. And the reason you want to do this is because even if you turn off privileges in your world, if you ever leave it on open only, so anyone on your friends list can join, if one person joins that you don't necessarily want to join, they can come in, they can wait till nighttime, they can get a creeper following you, and then they can blow up your house or something. No one wants that to happen from a stranger, and to avoid this, what you want to do is you want to make sure the spawn is fenced off, because then if you don't have privileges turned on, they can't do anything, as long as there's no easy ways out like this. But yeah, as long as there's no easy way out and they're actually fenced in, they have to wait here until you come and get them, which means you can vet them. If it's someone you don't like that's on your friends list that you don't really want to be there, you can be like, oh, I'm sorry, the connection's dropping, then you exit the game or something and turn it back on invite only. Or if it's the situation where you actually want them to be in here, you can give them some armor, give them some weapons, and then let them out of spawn. In my case, there's no proper way out, but you have a fence gate out and say, oh yeah, come out through here. So I've done this in my own world with the checkered house. You can do a bunch of different options, but the thing you need to make sure you do is cover all of spawn like this, so they can't kill themselves over and over again, and also make sure that there's no easy way out, and then you can have your world 100% safe from creepers and still leave it on open only. So none of the pain of having to invite people 100 times to get them in, but you also get the nice benefit of, actually being able to show people stuff. I've seen some people do some really cool stuff, because here, this is just 2 O's and a nice wall over there, but I've seen some people do stuff like a PC server spawn, where you have amazing builds in the sky, and you have logos saying, oh, that's the way to my house, that's the way to goes, and I think those are really cool things, but this is just the base for all of those things to build on top of. So fence off your spawn, do some cool stuff with it. This is where people will be for quite some time. So the second idea, actually before we get into it, let me just quickly explain how to find your spawn area, because not everyone's familiar with that. So this is a technique that used to work, where you place lava, but in case that doesn't work, because it doesn't work for me, what you want to do is just get a compass and then find the exact spawn area. You'll find it to a block or two. So in here you can see this is my exact spawn area, and then from the exact spawn block, so I think it's here, right? Okay, from the exact spawn block, it's a 23 by 23 area. Obviously this is just for example purposes, it isn't the exact size, but you want to make sure that as much of that 23 by 23 area is covered as possible, because that's where people can spawn. And just a pro tip for console, it's different to the PC, and it's something useful to know. So yeah, once you've done that, use your compass to work out the spawn. You might want to build the second idea here, which involves going to the sky, because it is Spawn Island. Spawn Island is one of my favorite ideas for a build, because basically you work out your spawn, then you build up, and you make sure all of it is covered by the sky. Because the thing about Minecraft spawning is it will spawn you on the highest block possible, for the spawn area. So if it can spawn me down there or up here, it will always spawn me up here, unless there are transparent blocks like leaves up here. So if you then obsidian the bottom of your island, this is like a safer version of the locked off spawn, because it means that even if people have privileges and they can break blocks, there is no way for them to get down there. They'd need to break a block, jump down, fall, die, break a block, take down, fall down, and make a tower from the bottom down, which is going to involve a lot of deaths. And if you make this high up enough, then there's no way for them to even do that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way to do that. And it also has the secondary benefit of as well as being safer than the spawn flakes, it also is a really cool thing, because islands are cool to make anyway, but also when people spawn up here, they can see your whole world, so they can see all the way to the panda over there, or to the the YouTube comments build a house, or the building, or the horse llama thing, or the Spyro, or the you can see so much in every direction, and it means you get a real good view of what the entire world looks like. And I think the spawn island is a great way to do 2 things: make your world safer, and also make it look a little bit better for people to join. So how do you get people down here if there's no way down at all, you might question? So the way you get people down is with a little bit of redstone like this, and so this is a really dangerous thing, so always bring a water bucket while crafting it. But if you just make it so that by default it's turned on, and then you turn it off, or you can turn it on for whatever, but yeah, make it so, oh, that's someone I trust, we'll let them down, and then you let them in, and boom, they're off the island. But if it's not someone you like, you can leave them up there, and they can suffer forever. It's entirely your choice, but it's just a nice little safety switch. Spawn Island looks awesome, and it's a great way to do this. It also has the benefit, by the way, of because the only way up there is to die, it kind of has an interesting dynamic where you could have a house where the only way to get to your house is to die and make it like that. I think there's a cool different few possibilities like this, and that's just one of them. So yeah, Spawn Island, I really like it. That's idea number 2. Idea number 3 is actually to use your spawn as a minecart hub. So the reason this makes sense is because when people spawn in, they might want to come and get you, and if you don't like, going to spawn, introduce boosting them, giving them armor each time, you might want them to come to you, and the best way to do that is to have your spawn be the hub of your minecart system. So minecart systems are really cool, and one of the things I always forget about, you know, the way minecarts work is that if you have a T-junction of a track, what you can actually do is you can use redstone, so in this case it's powered on, and if we turn off that redstone, it'll actually make the track reset, and you can do the same by turning it on, and it's a really cool way to make a T-junction go each way. And by using this very simple system, and we made it so, you know, this turns on just the left junction, that turns on both junctions like that. With this simple system, we can have 3 destinations, so if you have no levers turned on, you go to the underground. If I'm underground, you can find me down there. If you have 1 lever turned on, it's this lever to the right, you go to Spruce Town. As you can see, that's Spruce Town to the left over there. And then if you turn on this right lever, you'll go to Home, which is just that place over there. And just to show you how this works, so we put our minecart down on the powered rail. So if we want to go to Spruce Town, for instance, you see it turns that forwards, so that means we'll go forwards, and we'll just end up in Spruce Town. And we're over there right now, and you make that go, obviously, across your world. Then if we break our minecart, and you know, I think you can just see it from there. Obviously, if we have both levers turned on, it'll make us go forwards to the house, and if we don't have any on, it goes over there. It's a really cool system, and this is just 3 sets of minecarts. You can do this in a much bigger, better way, but this is just showing that even 3 places can be linked up by spawn. You can make it so your entire world is linked up this way if you want to, and I just think that's a great thing to do with spawn. If you trust everyone that's ever going to join your world, or you have it on invite only, this is just a cool way to get people to you without the whole hassle of, oh, I'll walk all the way across my map and back to get you. No, instead, they come get in a minecart, they come to you, and that's a handy thing you can do there. So, yeah, the minecart system, great way to link up your spawn to everyone in your world, and I think the spawn is the logical hub for everything, because that's where people are going to join in for the first time. So, yeah, that's the first thing, and let's move on to the 4th idea for spawn, shall we? Which is kind of a really basic one, but it's one you might want to play around with if you like your redstone, because if you cover your entire spawn, 23 by 23 area, with pressure plates, wooden, stone, whatever, you can actually make it so that, you know, have a long redstone trail going off that, where it will lead all the way to your house, or all the way to like a command station, and it can activate some redstone. So, for instance, in this case, all it does is activate a light all the way over there, which could be my house. It's like, oh, someone's joined, it's watch out. But you can do some pretty cool things just to work out when people are at spawn using the pressure plate system, because if you know, people will actually spawn on the pressure plates, and it just means you know, there's no way for them to avoid registering on that. You could have like a life counter this way. You know, this is the life count redstone. It's kind of messy, but yeah, you can do a bunch of different things by using a redstone track based on the spawn. I just thought it was a cool idea. Maybe someone's inspired by this. If you're not inspired by this, maybe you're inspired by the last idea here. So again, this is more effective on the PC than it is on the console, but what you might want to do with the spawn is you might want to use it to, so we'll just put some stuff there. You might want to use it to do stuff that's not normally possible, you know, if you're not inside the chunk. So on the PC, again, spawn chunks are always loaded in. So if this was the spawn chunk right here, for instance, if we set this as our spawn, then all of this stuff, you know, our sugarcane would grow, our crops would grow, and our furnaces would always activate because they're always loaded into the spawn chunks. On the console, it doesn't work that way. I did, in fact, test it, and unfortunately, it's just not the way it works. But one of the cool benefits of the console and the way it does actually work is it means that if you have it near your spawn, if you have lots of people joining, because if it's in anyone's render distance, it will always, you know, be working. It means that if you have like 8 people in your world, someone's going to have the spawn chunks loaded in, and it means the spawn is probably the best place to do this. So again, not quite as effective on console, but still, if you want to have furnaces that are active most of the time, let's say you're mass cooking like literally thousands of pork chops or thousands of anything, and you just don't want to be, you know, standing there the whole time, spawn is probably the best place to do it, because it's where people go the most often. It's usually somewhere near the center of your world, and it just kind of makes sense in my opinion. So yeah, that is 5 ideas that you can work with for your spawn. There is locking off your spawn and then making it like either a nice place to look at, or making it basically a prison. There's making the Sky Island, which again can be a really great view, or it can be a prison, but it can also be both. We've got the minecart hub for your world, which is one I really love to do if I had like that amount of minecart tracks. So cool idea if you've got lots of you working in a world. You've got using your spawn as a redstone trigger, because you can cover it in a redstone plate. And then finally, you've got using your spawn as a way to make sure that stuff always activates, whether it's an automatic furnace system, whether it's growing crops, whether it's doing anything that needs to be done automatically. This is something you can do at your spawn. So yeah, hopefully I did inspire you in today's video. Let me know if you have any cool ideas. I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. If you're like, oh, I'd love to do this in my spawn now, because that's why let's do Minecraft. But yeah, besides that, please do like the video if you did like it, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.